Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Fab's in the house. And today I've got the Grimsmo Knives Norseman here with me for a review. As usual, we're gonna analyze the look, the sound, and the feel of this big boy. But first of all, let's just do a quick size comparison. This is up against the blade, the Holt Blade Works Spectre. As you can see, the blade length is, look at this, it's the same, but the handle size is much smaller. Also, we have, let's do another big boy here. This is the Custom Knife Factory Snafu 2.0. Also, very comparable handle size and a little bit packing more edge over here. This is a Reeve Knives Sebenza 31, so very comparable blade length, but also handle size, same ballpark kind of thing. This is the Koenig Arius, beautiful knife over there, and let's do a couple of more popular options. This is the Para 3 from Spyderco, and this is the Paramilitary 2 from Spyderco. And check this out, you see, handle size kind of like the same, but packing more than the Spyderco in terms of edge length. So let's check out the look of this guy, because this is quite a popular knife, very famous. It's it's the Norseman. It has a unique design. You cannot mistake this knife like for any other else, especially for based on the blade shape. This guy is made in Canada by the Grimsmo brother. They do some pretty serious CNC machine working. This guy is 8.625 inch long when open and 5 inches when closed. In this case, you have titanium scales. It's a frame lock, and in this case you have like a reverse honeycomb pattern going on, which I really appreciate. It also has like a dual anodization job. In fact, you see the cracks in between the honeycomb, let's say, are anodized with a nice blue color, whereas the actual hexagons are a deeper blue. This anodization finish has something interesting because as you can see, for example, around the pocket clip where the finger cannot touch, you can see, I guess, some deeper blue, which can be brought back to life just with some Windex or some, even some alcohol, because, the oils of the fingers are gonna remove that layer, but can be brought back to life, let's say, with just wiping it down with some Windex. So just keep that in mind. Also, the something that I really like, it's the slimness. Look at this. Look at the profile of this blade. Is just very slim for being like such a big boy. The inside of these scales are milled with some. I don't know if you can see. Right over here, you can see the date, Norseman, April 2020, but they are not skeletonized. So this is going to reflect a little bit in the weight because it's going to be quite substantial. You have a very nice flipper tab, beautifully chamfered and rounded off, but you cannot really push button this guy. You have to do just a light switch in order for you to deploy the blade. There's a beautiful, I have to say, finger groove going on over here. It's going to reflect very nicely in the comfort of your grip. It has been chamfered nicely all around the edges, but not really on the inside. It's not sharp, but there's no inner chamfering going on. You have basically jimping only over here, which is going to be functional only in the thumb ramp, which is halfway up to here. This side over here is indented and not really functional. So you have two back spacer, conferring some pretty cool rigidity to the overall structure. Something that I'm not really a fan of is the lanyard hole, because it just steals this much length from the handle, therefore giving an overall handle to blade ratio not optimal, not ideal. If you can just chop this side off, it would be more proportionate, I would think. Also, you have a nice lock release relief here. So as you can see, this side over here has been chamfered and milled out in this way. So your thumb just slides through here, and then you have this milling going on over here in order for you to release the lock like that. So it's very, very easy and comfortable to to release the lock. So there is no lock face insert, but there's no lock stick, which is a very good thing. You have a nicely designed internal lock stabilizer. So you cannot, right over here, you see there's a disc which is screwed in from the inside, which prevents you to overextend the lock bar too much. So that's a pretty neat feature. The detent ball is like shaved off. It's not like completely spherical, in order to give a little bit extra smoothness in the action. They are very nice to include like a tool for disassembly, and in fact the presentation box is like this. So it comes with some nano oil and a T9 screws, just to encourage you to disassemble this guy if needed. And that is beautiful, because the disassembly of this one is going to be super easy, like pretty straightforward. You basically unscrew this one, unscrew this two here, same Torx bit, and you're done. So the pivot screw over here is a nice Grimsmo logo with a helmet, and it's it has it's keyed in. It's not a rounded shape in order to spin or rotate. So this is going to be captive and not rotating, and therefore facilitating your job when disassembling. So that's a very, very nice feature. Also, what I love, it's like the screws are completely flat with the design, not protruding. Very, very nice. And are also titanium, and they have they're custom made, with these dots surrounding the actual screw. So very, very cool little addition, to an overall pretty nice design. If you check the clip, it's nicely done. It's a 3D milled titanium clip with a matching finish, in this case, like tumbled and anodized, and it's tip up only, it's not reversible, and the knife, it's not going to be ambidextrous. If you check the blade length, it's a 3.6 long RWL 34 steel blade. In this case, the blade has been tumbled and acid etched to give this battle finish look. So you can use this one without worrying to scratch it, because it has been already scratched. So the stock thickness is the right size. It's going to be a very nice slicer. They do this pretty unique and very distinctive shape. The point, it's like a kind of tanto tip with a only recurve edge going on over here, culminating in a very, very small sharpening edge. And this side of the flipper tab, it can be used as a kind of like as a finger choil. It's not really a finger choil, but for sure you can choke it up like that. The grind symmetry, you have to notice that it is done by hand, so you might see some variance. In fact, you can see the tip, it's widening up to, from here up to here, and overall this is a very, very peculiar shape. This, you can see the steps of the CNC machining going on over here, which are going to give like a kind of like a semi-hollow profile over here and flat over here. So very, very interesting job. The spine it's beautifully crowned. It's like almost round, and it's nicely rounded off, and ends like over here where it's just flat up to the tip. You've got some nice thumb ramp going on with the jimping. The jimping, the functional jimping, I would say, is just from here to here, because as you can see, this side, this half over here just disappears below the edge of the handle over here. So yeah, just keep that in mind. The plunge grind also is nicely, it's gently shaped. It's not like just abruptly like perpendicular to the bevel over here. So I like this little detail. You also have there's no swedge, of course, no fuller, no billboarding, which I truly appreciate. The only logo is right over here and right over here, and also inside of the scales. I don't know if you can see, but there it's milled out. It's written probably made in Canada. There's the Grimsmo logo over there, and just the date of production right over here. Let's check out the sound this guy makes, because it's interesting. When you open it, it's like this. So it's very, very dry, and it's a nice cluck, and it's very distinctive and unique. It's nice. When you close it, though, this is the sound. So this is I'm a real fan of this sound going on over here, because if you do it the right way, it's gonna be a very subtle, clinky thud kind of thing, which I truly appreciate. Very, very nice and subtle. Something that I'm not really a fan of is the weight, because this guy is almost like 5 ounces, so not really a lightweight. Something instead that I really love is the grip, because there's no hot spots going on whatsoever, no sharp edges. You have a nice jimping going on, and the grip is going to be very, very nice, even if the handle is a little bit thin. I like it like from a look, design standpoint, not really from a grip, feeling point of view, because I prefer something a little bit more rounded off like this to give me like more grip when choking and squeezing, the handle. But something that I appreciate is just this rounded off area over here, so it gives me the option to choke up a little bit, or even do something like that if I need to do something with more precision. But overall, the feeling you're gonna get is something like absolutely solid, and this texture over here helps and enhances the grippiness of your purchase like that. Overall, the fit and finish is spot on. I mean, it's a CNC machined blade, so there should be no issues whatsoever. There is no blade play, feels very solid. The clip ramp, it's good. I think it's a little bit too strong for the retention, but this is going to be ensuring the knife not to go anywhere once clipped into your pocket. The feeling when deploying the blade is very, very fast. You get this pretty nice kickback when the blade just hits the internal stop pin, and you don't have any finger sore, because we said the chamfering going on over here. You have a little bit of jimping also in the flipper tab. It's very nicely made. You cannot push button in any way. You only have the option of doing your light switch or your thumb flick like that. There is only one, the thumb stud is only on one side, so there's no option for your spidey flick. You need to follow their website and check out the drops for the dual thumb stud. But you have you see 2 hands, you have this deploy method, and of course the light switch option in order to flick open your blade. Also, this guy is running on bearings. They are also marked. There's Grimsmo written around in-house made bearings, which are gonna give like a very nice and smooth action overall. The D10 strength is it's very good. It's dialed in. It's perfect. There's no rattling whatsoever going on. You cannot touch the tip of the blade, even if they just a little bit wasted this much area here just to include a lanyard hole. And the overall easiness to release the lock is very nice, because of the design of this area. Something that not a fan of is the position of the detent ball, because I think it's a little bit too much recessed from the tang of the blade. So you have this area here, right after the detent ball, right up to the tang of the blade, where you have the lock bar scratching up against the actual blade. So this is gonna be translating into this part over here, not like 100% smooth, but when the detent ball accesses the detent ball ramp, then you're gonna have this kind of smoothness, which is top notch. Something that I really like, it's the design of the lock face, because as you can see, it's like shaped, it's rounded off, and it actually notches into the, I don't know if you can see, maybe like over here, it just notches into, nests like into the same shape in the tang of the blade. So that's a pretty clever solution. Also, of course, like you just unlock this guy and the blade is just like free falling, and then it just guillotines back close. So just be careful, guys. There is no detent suction, so you have just to basically push the blade back into place. But overall, this has a pretty unique look. You don't see these lines going on in any other knife, and I think this is, has an acquired taste, so it's not for everyone. The sound it makes it's nice. The ergonomics are very good, and overall it's a very good Canadian product. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned.